as we move on to our next session, this is something very interesting. This is not only important for the early years, this is important across any class or anything. Building communities with parents. Today we are going to discuss about mainly with early learning, but some of the insights from the experts from the industry might give us a lot of input to impart and inculcate in your K-12 schools also. So we have experts here, Mr. Vipul Kamboj, Rupali Tanna, and Gur Serai and Anita Dasgupta. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just to set the tone, when educators and parents come together as partners, we create a strong support system that nurtures a child's growth both academically and emotionally. This collaboration is just not beneficial, it is essential. By building communities that actively involve parents, we not only enhance children learning experiences but also create an environment where every child can thrive. Having said that,
Hello.
go ahead, yeah. You pass it around. Okay. So I would like to start. So I'd like to ask Mr. Vipul, what are some effective strategies you have implemented to actively involve parents in early learning programs?
Hi, good morning everyone. So basically what I've done is fundamentally divided strategies into two halves. So one is the allopathic strategy, just like the allopathic medicines. They're short term and they work when your connect with the parents has almost broken and you just want a quick solution. One is the Ayurvedic strategy. It is long term, it is sustainable, it is simple, and it is easy. And just like an Ayurvedic medicine or meditation, it does wonders. So today I'll be talking about the Ayurvedic part of it, the Ayurvedic strategy. It is, as I said, a very simple strategy. It is called care calling, right? What do? Each teacher of each section calls their parent once a month or twice a month, right? So now you are wondering, it's so simple, how does it work wonders? So the question is, meditation is so simple, how does it work wonders? So I'll tell you the reason behind it. The first and the foremost reason is, when you are doing care calling, you are creating and talking to the parent in an informal environment. That is the thing that works. The informal environment, when you get to know the parents more deeply. Secondly, as I said, it is a longer term. It can be done on a monthly basis. All the other strategies like parent orientation or community programs, they cannot cover 100% of the parents and they cannot be done operationally in a school every month. That is one part. So now the point is, what are you telling to the parents? What are you communicating to the parents through it? You are communicating two very important things. We, the Vivekananda school, I, the teacher, care about the well-being of your child. That is the most important thing. Secondly, you are communicating, I as a school, as a teacher, is taking the onus, is taking the responsibility, is showing proactivity to actively engage with you. So now we'll talk about how does this conversation begins. I'll give you personal experiences. Conversations begin simply with the teachers. They begin about the child's well-being. Then they mature to, acha, what does he like to eat? What does she like to eat? Then they mature to activities. What are the activities they are into? Then they mature to, the parents give the phone to their child and the child starts talking to the teachers. Then they mature to, when the child is after her mother, I want to do a video call. Why do they want to do a video call? Because they want to show their teacher their room, their favorite toy. So this is how the community through informal way is building, right? Now I'll tell you from different perspectives how it helps, from different perspectives. from the perspective of a parent, mother builds a trust with the teacher. She builds a bond with the teacher, and that is the primary motive of this session, right? The mother or the parent feels school and the teacher is approachable. They are with us, right? Then I'll tell you a teacher's perspective. How does it help the teacher? Since the teacher makes the bond with the parent, so they know all the nitty-gritties about the kid, so they are able to manage them better. All the little problems that usually the parents have, kam khata hai, zyada khata hai, all the issues which are important on those age, they are all solvable through easy, transparent communication. Most importantly for teachers, complaint by the parents reduces to almost 10%. Why? Because now you have a bond. Now I'll tell you from a kid's perspective. What happens from a kid's perspective? The kids is understanding ki the teacher, who's my teacher, she's a friend of my mother. When she's a friend of your mother, the kid starts treating the teacher like a mother. Kids come to the school with happiness. Good morning turns into high five. It's all the talk about happy learners, so you have your happy learners. The kids, they have confidence and academic progression. All the things we are talking about, STEM learning and AI, what are we talking about? Engaging in having academic progression automatically just shoots up. Now I'll tell you from a school and a principal's perspective. We do a lot of things for the parents. What is the attendance percentage in a city like Gurugram? But when you have a bond with the parent, can she say no? Almost 90% attendance you'll get in all the events. Secondly, teachers become polite because they know every monthly they have to talk to the parents. There is no way around. They naturally tone down. Thirdly, as leaders, we take a lot of interviews and we talk a lot about emotional intelligence, right? So how do you judge an emotional intelligence in, let's say, 5 minutes or 10 minutes interaction? You cannot. But when you have the care calling, you have the data, you see this teacher is connected to 100% of the parent. This teacher is connected to 80. This is connected to 70. So now you know where you have to work. You can support the teacher. After that, the trust with the teacher gets converted into trust with the school. The bond with the teacher gets converted into bond with the school. And most importantly, for a new school, admission is always an issue, right? An issue in a sense that we are struggling for it. There's one thing that all the parents do. They review, they do the Google reviews, and teachers are always like कि मैम जितनी भी कोशिश कर लो, सर जितनी भी कोशिश कर लो, parent Google review नहीं देता है. Trust me, with this approach, you'll get 80% Google reviews more than 5 stars, all the 5 stars. Reason being, when you have a connection, when you have a bond, can you say no? See, I today say to any one of you, ma'am, please review my school. Would you do it? No. Let's say over the time, monthly we are meeting informally, like we did last night, not in this scenario. And after 6 months, I ask, ma'am, can you just review my school? You will definitely do it. So you'll get more than 80% of the parents will be doing all the reviews and they'll be happy to do it. So as a school, this is our Ayurvedic approach, the main front approach. And around it, we build everything. Parent orientations, parent teaching programs, community programs, environmental programs, everything is built up around it. But this is the basic approach that we follow, and it has worked pretty well for our school. That's my point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was really bang on. The one point which I really like this, I always practice that. The connection, the trust what the mother builds with the school and with the team directly impacts the child, and automatically the settling period for the child reduces phenomenally. So that is very very important. Thank you for that point. Having I would like to hop on to Rupali ma'am. Ma'am, how do you leverage community resource to support parents in their role as active participants in their children's education?
Yes. First of all, we ensure that we capitalize on the word partnership. On the very first day, when our parents are invited for the orientation meeting, we welcome them as partners. We are partners in this journey, and we very much clearly announce that we are now 50-50% partners in this journey of our child, our child. So naturally, parent will also own it up, and a trust and that connect is built instantly. Next, we first let them see what we are doing at school and why, the relevance. We show them the relevance through the regular workshops, and then we take them to the community part. But we start first with ourselves, where we take children out to the public places and encourage parents to take them regularly to such places which will support learning at home, and it will definitely enhance their understanding at home. So it will work like a bridging the gap between the home and the school. So we constantly keep in touch with the parents. We upload videos on online communication portal Flint, where we upload regular videos, we upload regular feedback, and we encourage from them the critical feedback of how they find anything which they can suggest to us. And yes, we constantly encourage them to take their children during the holiday to the public places and to the community places like library, museum, zoo, and then we ask them to make a project based on that and share with their friends. For example, during Diwali and Christmas break, all the parents have their own plans to visit outside of India, wherever. So the assignment which we give during those days is that prepare a project on the place that you visited and how it is relevant to the topic that you've been doing in your class, and share with your friends. That really enhances their understanding, and that is how it works. Thank you.
If I may just add to it, we always talk about experiential learning, connecting our concepts to its real life application. So I feel edu trips here, because schools have their own limitation of resources which we can produce. And sometimes I feel a trip with my friends in the school bus is much more pleasurable than what I would do when I go with my parents. So these edu trips to maybe the fire station, to the nearby library, or even if I'm doing vegetables and fruits, just go to the grocery supermarket, give them some play money, and believe you me, every person in the community is always welcoming to children. Take them to a bakery, and for this often you can tap into your parent resource body. So when you begin this session, if you do a little recce and you find out there might be a baker in your parents, there might be somebody who kind of has a medicine shop, somebody who has who is a vet's clinic. So all these real life resources which you have in your parents is really going to be useful in building that community connect, and the children will be able to learn truly experientially, connecting their learning in the real life environment, in the company of their friends, with the correct probing questions by the teachers. So environment is the third teacher. So we must use it to the optimum. Thank you. Thank you so much. That one point, have you all noticed when Rupali ma'am said, our child, that she insisted. First she said, our child. Then again she said, our child. That comes only from an ECCE person. that heart, soulfully we say that. And I could see from her. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very insightful. And even whatever you added, it was really nice. And I would like to, Mr. Gur Serai, how do you ensure that your engagement strategies are culturally sensitive and inclusive of diverse family backgrounds?
We are incredibly lucky that we are living in a very diverse country. And I have to say, probably India is actually one of the most diverse countries I have seen. Having my experience in the UK, leading so many schools there, now coming, and I've been in India since 2016. We are a culturally rich country. There is no dispute about that. We've got so many different religions, and it's very, very important to actually appreciate that. So we do get our parents involved in our assemblies. It could be anything, any cultural thing. It could be any religious thing. And we get our parents actively participating in that, which is very, very important. That way, children appreciate different religions. They understand, say, for example, I'm a Sikh. I want to know more about Christianity. And it helps me to understand Christianity and others. And the reason for that is simple. Once you know the cultural background of a person, once you know which religion that person comes from, that way relationships are maintained. And you understand people in a far, far better way. And the other thing which I strongly promote in all our schools is actually Hindi and Punjabi or any other regional language. But Hindi, of course, is our national language, and Punjabi, because that happens to be the regional language. And of course we do that through music, with various avenues, and we get our parents on board. Now whatever Vipul mentioned, whatever you mentioned, we do exactly the same. And this starts right at the beginning at the orientation sessions. We make it very clear right from the front, this is what we're going to do throughout the year. So parents have a clear understanding as what is happening and when it is taking place. And we regularly interact with them. Of course, you mentioned about the monthly, but what I actually realize with parents is a drip, drip, drip. You constantly have to engage with them. We've got Scholars Book. We use technology as well to communicate with our parents. And when need be, parents can book an appointment whenever they want to see teachers as well. And I think that's very, very important. That way the child knows that my teacher knows my parents. And that makes a huge amount of difference. We also have different workshops, which I'm sure a lot of people do, all about healthy eating and so forth. We do use a lot of puppets. We do. We do a lot of storytelling. We do a lot of activity. There's a lot of role play involved because that's how children learn. They do not learn in an isolated way. You have to fully integrate things. Art plays a big part. So and cultural art in India is amazing. We are a country which is so rich with so much art all around in different forms. So we teach that. We actively engage in that, which makes a huge difference. And our parents actually really like that. It's very, very important to actually show respect to the community that you are serving. And at the same time, around our schools, we look after our neighborhoods as well. It's not just about education within the school building. It's actually in the neighborhood as well. So we actively engage our children and parents in cleaning the area around the school, planting trees, looking after the neighborhood. That way, you've got your neighborhood on your side as well, who actively participate as well in the school. They may not have the children in your school, because of course parents have got a choice, but the reality is, if they're not there, eventually they will join you, because they see what the school is doing as a community, and that's a win-win situation for all. Win for children, win for the community, and at the same time the school gains as well. And we actively do that in all the different schools we have. So I hope I have answered your question, because a lot of things have been covered by everyone.
Can I? So I'll just add, as Sir mentioned, about how you get to know students from different religion better, and you get the perspective change. So we were talking about cultural sensitivity, right? So we do one more thing. What we do is we take all the parents on the same team. So let's say what are the issues that are ongoing in Gurugram that are pertinent to everyone. Let's say when the Diwali comes, pollution is one. All right. So engage the entire school community in an issue that is pertinent to everyone, right? So we just last week held a session on pets. How can you groom them? How can you love them, right? So that is something the entire parents, all the parents, almost in Gurgaon, they're very pro to. So that is one. We're taking parents on the same team, right? It could be health or it could be anything. Just take those specific community areas in which everyone is on the same page, and you'll build that.
I just want to slightly add to that as well. The other thing we do actually promote a lot is traditional clothing. because let's be honest, what really shocked me, there was a Miss Universe competition taking place, and the Australian Miss Universe, who was representing her country, she wore a sari. Rest, everyone was wearing a gown, because what I feel that living in the UK, we were more connected traditionally because we were not getting much of that. But since I've been in India, I've actually see it's the reverse. We're more into different things, following the West, not realizing we have got such a rich tradition. And I tell you something, there are days when we have our traditional days. I love wearing a kurta pajama. Why not? It's amazing. And other teachers do the same. Our parents, we also ask our parents to wear, when they bring their children to school, to actually wear traditional clothes as well. So there's an engagement. It's a win-win situation for all. And at the same time, respecting what this lovely country has got to offer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was really nice. Even I had an experience to culturally or religious wise, including one of the parent in the past. She was so specific that you can't even sing God's love in the school. They were very, very specific. But she wanted the child to study in our school only. She said, like, you change the system. I said, like, one person, I cannot change the system. Then we had to really convince and make her understand you're already living in a culturally diverse and inclusive country where you will have to include. If you don't want this to be practiced here, then you should not be living in. Then she got convinced and then she took the admission. But that plays a major role actually. Thank you, sir, for that. And Anita ma'am, to you. What are the most common challenges that you face when trying to engage parents, and how do you overcome them?
So first I'll overcome the word challenges with the word children. So when children are the center, so then everything binds us together, because no school can say that I'm the best school, give me your child and I'll just turn them around. No parent can also sit and rest assured, I've put my child in the best school and that's it. It's a collaboration. It's not a race. It's a learning journey. Yes, given our different situations we have and also logistical reasons, we come across a few challenges, but then it's how you look, is the glass half full or half empty? And there is no door that doesn't have a keyhole or some hinges to help it open. So with this thought in mind, often the first thing what I feel is a clear channel of communication. And like often for our banks, they make us do this KYC. I'd rather say do a KYP. So know your parent. So before you begin the academic year, either through your care call or some telemeet, some way know about the parent, what are they doing, how do the children go back, what's their routine back, when's back home, what are their areas of interest, where would they like to volunteer for you. So know your parents, and that gives you an idea of maybe time constraints if the parents have for your meeting. Leverage technology. You could kind of have your teams meet or anyway, so technology, a flexi schedule, either before school, before you go off for your work, or on a working Saturday. So be flexible, because you have to reach your outcome. So it doesn't matter what path I take, be flexible, but ensure that you connect with the parent. They have to make that effort to come and connect with you. Everything cannot be done over telephone call or an exchange of mails which runs into a thread. Let's have that face-to-face connect. That helps a lot. Often, sometimes it's not about parents who are working. Often it could be many of our schools, we have a lot of children from the not so privileged social background, socioeconomic background. So make it more accessible to them. Maybe the teacher can take that effort to connect with them on phone if they're not able to handle your technological fields, or when they come to pick the child in the afternoon, just take a 5-10 minutes, talk them through what's doing. So be inclusive, provide equity to people from all rungs of the society. Then if you are coming to, maybe sometimes you have parents who are not quite interested, they are too busy in their schedules to offer any help or come to their child's classroom. So have this consistent throughout the year parent involvement activities. You can have a diverse range, and please maintain your data bank so you know if this XYZ parent who's repeatedly coming, reach out to the other parents also. Offer, because either we are following textbooks or we have a thematic calendar, we all have an activity calendar. So get the parent to share their interest. Let them be flexible and show them the importance of coming to the child's class. Some way you could pay the good cop with them, that look, those parents came and see what the difference it made. Work through the children. Get your parents to come. If not parents, grandparents, somebody from the family it could be. It doesn't always have to be parents. Grandparents, I feel sometimes are an even better resource body. And there are very few families who are still rich enough to have that resource with them. Uncle, aunts, it could be anybody from the family. So get somebody to come in and believe you me, explain it to them that the child walks 10 steps in the air for the next few weeks. If they have issues of transportation coming over, offer them the school bus services, because most of our schools would have some transportation facility. So offer them that services. So if they have a problem, come round with the solution, because let's meet midway where the child is the center that bonds us. And the socio-emotional well-being of a child, I feel, matters much more. Learning will happen later on, and overcoming this, once you kind of play that good cop, which I say, and you work on the sentimental card, you've got your parents with you throughout the journey. So communication, collaboration, and a consistency in all your practices. These few things really help. Thank you.
In all the years that I've been in India, and I'm so happy that we are talking about early years, because since I have been in this country, it seems to me we talk about +1, +2, we talk about 10th class, as if children magically, they skip all these years and they are there. No one seems to understand we are like a cricket team. If the opening batsman does not do well, there's entire pressure on the rest of the team. And I'm so grateful to Ravi and his team that they have actually got something around early years. Now I could have been in any, I could have spoken in a different place. I said, no, I want to be here in the early years because it's passionate. There is so much young children, when you see the innocence and when you see the way they're developing, and at the same the confidence. Unfortunately, the higher they go to different classes, that confidence, that creativity lacks. It goes down. So I don't know what we're doing as educators. Are we killing the creativity? But when you see children in the early years, and you see early year practitioners, and I'm sure all of you are early year practitioners, amazing teaching, great displays. But when you go higher up the school, the displays are lacking, the creativity is lost. The most dullest teachers I find sometimes, and no disrespect to anyone, are those who are teaching 10th +1 +2. It's like everything is dead. They're so focused on getting the examination results. Of course we need them, we do need them, but the early years, hats off to Ravi and everyone. And I just want to add to it, I have been very fortunate to work with the Burlington group. We are actually working very heavily on the early years curriculum. Amazing stuff is happening. Now the Satluj group is a group where we see that there are good things happening. We would run to those people for advice, and we would also work in partnership with them. And that's exactly what I've been doing over the past 1 year with the Burlington group. My association with them has been for about 5 years, but recently we're actually working on a holistic, development of the early years curriculum, and hats off to Lena and others in the team. So if you do get a chance, please talk to this man about early years. Amazing stuff is going on. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I had a last question, but I want you to just take 15 seconds to answer this because we are running short of time. So one by one, you can just take that turn. In what ways have you utilized technology to enhance parent involvement in early learning?
Like I said earlier, we have online communication portal for parents, which is Flint, and I'm sure most of you must be aware about that, either My School or Flint. And Flint has working very well, where we put up everything right from our monthly schedule to the weekly schedule to the daily work report. And weekly basis we upload videos and photographs so parents get to see each and everything which happens in the classrooms. Apart from that, we send them additional resources for them to show that to children at home, so that children get that support from home. And those videos, those stories, we do proper research and we upload developmentally appropriate videos and references for them, so they are constantly connected. And it is very, very important to educate our parents, because like how we said in the previous question, apart from being flexible and everything, but catering to early children parents is not a joke, because we are dealing with human lives. And as we say, each child is a unique child, so definitely it applies to all of us adults as well, right? Each parent is a unique parent with different mindset. So you will find some of them are difficult to reach across to, and they should be there in our group, which keeps us aware, which keeps us on our toes. So we have to take it positively, but with our perseverance and that firm determination, like a good cop, she said. I really like that word. You have to act like a good cop to make them do what you want them to do, but it is for the betterment of our children. You have to constantly tell them it's our children, not yours. It's now ours. So we also matter, and ours say matter. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Just 15 seconds.
Did you say 15 seconds? Count now. We do the same as you. More or less.
That's good.
So I think one of the good fallouts of pandemic has been that how we've all learned how to leverage technology. So let's use it for the good bits. Just make sure whatever portal you're using is quite accessible for the parents. It should have a mobile app. It should be actually updated. So right from the attendance of the child to whether he's gone to the infirmary to any school circulars, any of your day-to-day operations, all is there. And do include something over there about the feedback. The parents should have a mechanism from there where they can give in their suggestions, feedback, wherein maybe you can have the confidentiality of it, because often may not want to drop a mail or come and meet you. So have some feedback mechanism, and somewhere kind of have the assessments of the child logged on the portal, so it can become like a digital journey, like a digital portfolio of the children. So put in some work of the children on the portal. So choose your portals wisely, which cater to day-to-day operationals, assessment, feedback, and also somewhere logging their learning journey to be kept as an e-learning journey of the child to see the progression after years.
The only thing I will say, don't overdo it. That's important. You have to maintain that balance, and it's very important to have a mixture of physical and use of technology. That's important.
So there's one usually issue with which the parents usually come us to with. How do you teach in school? Like the way we teach it at home is different. That is what our kid says. So one way we use technology is we upload our pedagogy videos on a simple YouTube channel, and parents are perfectly fine. They get to know the system, and that is how they get to know why the child is saying, "Mama, this is not how it is done. It is supposed to be units 10, and you are doing like this." I think simple.
Thank you so much for this wonderful conversation that we had. I hope you all would have got some very good insights today. And before we move on to the next session, I would like to felicitate the speakers.
Are there any questions you got?
Yes.
I think that's important as well. Fair enough.
So just a quick question, sir. How do you maintain a boundary? So there are parents you talk to, and you can show all the concern for the kid and the parent and get all their requirements. But certain times when you're friendly and when you know a parent very personally, when things go wrong, and this is by far my personal experience, the day something goes wrong in the school and it's a fault of the teacher, whoever, then the parent thinks that they can cross that line with the teacher because now it has gotten to a personal level like we spoke about. So how do we deal with those situations? Because then the teachers are already very scared of getting too personal because they know the moment things go wrong, then what do the teachers do in such a case?
To be very frank, we make it very, very clear. I know people may disagree with what I'm going to say. We are professionals. Their child cannot be our child. We are simply there as professionals, and I make it very clear to all my staff, maintain professional boundaries. You're right, if you get over familiar, it can cause a huge amount of problem, and quite frankly it affects the child, because if you become friends with parents, you've lost the battle. You need to maintain that distance, and you need to be absolutely professional. Simple as that, right from the start. Otherwise you'll be in trouble. Yeah. Have the communication, but at the same time don't over communicate. That's a danger as well. So you need to be professional. Yeah. And teachers are trained.
As simple, you go to the doctor, tell your systems, don't become a Google doctor yourself. So trust the professionals, they are professionals in their own right. You can be friendly to the parent, but do not be friends. Have your SOPs in place, all your operating procedures, your policies in place. So that's the professional document which is there for the parent. Same channel across for all of communication and limitations. There's a checks and balances.
And do not engage in friendly discussions.
Yes. That is what I wanted to focus on. Till the time the conversations are around child well-being, you're not crossing the boundary. Don't try to cross that, and don't be, try to what are your hobbies. You're shifting from the child. Basically, when we catering to the child's well-being, we're not catering to the parents' well-being. So stick around child, and you won't be crossing the boundaries.
So my question was, yeah, sorry. So my question was that yes, as long as we stick to the child, but what we also realize is that parent engagement, and now with single children and over parenting, helicopter parenting, every parent wants their child to be the star, right? So our dilemma today is that yes, we give them every opportunity to shine, but for us it's 25 in the class who all are equal. But when I have to tell a parent that you have to wait for the 25th week for your child to get his time in the limelight, right? I don't see that community celebration. I don't see parents celebrating for somebody else's child's success. And that saddens me because, for us, so where do we draw the line there? We want engagement, we want involvement, but parents want to be the solo players there. That's a big challenge.
And a parent that came to me says, "Do you have air conditioning in the playground as well?" What? That was like, no. That's not going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.